Today's date is March 15th, 2026. My name is Alex, and I am broadcasting from a secured sublevel within the ruins of Manhattan. If anyone is receiving this, if there's anyone left to listen, you have to know how it happened. The truth cannot be buried under the rubble. It all started with hope. It began in the summer of 2025. The news was full of it. A comet, officially designated 3I Atlas, was making its way into our inner solar system. We all just called it Atlas. The astronomers were ecstatic. They said it was a long-period comet, a visitor from the Oort cloud, the most distant frozen edge of our solar system. A pristine relic from the birth of our worlds. They predicted it could become the comet of the century, potentially shining as brightly as the brightest stars in our sky. We were promised a celestial spectacle, a once-in-a-generation event. From my rooftop in Brooklyn, I'd look across the East River at the glittering skyline of Manhattan, and then up at the stars, trying to find it with my telescope. There was a buzz in the city. People would hold stargazing parties in Sheep Meadow, pointing their phones at the sky. For the first time in a long time, the entire world was looking up together. We were so busy watching the show, we never realized we were the audience for our own execution. The trajectory was set, a dance of gravity and mathematics. In late September, early October 2025, Atlas was scheduled for its perihelion, its fiery pass behind the sun. It would be hidden from us, baked by solar radiation that would supposedly give it a magnificent tail. We were told to be patient, that when it re-emerged in November, it would be a glorious sight, hanging in the twilight over the Hudson. And so New York, along with the rest of the world, waited. October passed. The world held its breath. The scientific channels were buzzing. Atlas was behind the sun. We were blind. Our most advanced eyes, the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, the Parker Solar Probe, they saw nothing. This was the first sign that something was wrong. There should have been some gravitational trace, some disturbance. But there was only silence. The official line from NASA and the ESA was observational complications. Solar interference. They lied to keep us calm. But inside the world's observatories, panic was setting in. The comet hadn't just been hidden. It had vanished from reality. November came and went. The patch of sky where Atlas was supposed to reappear remained empty. The story started to die down. People were disappointed. They called it the great flop of 2025 and moved on. But we, the ones who kept watching, we felt a cold dread growing in our hearts. The silence from the cosmos was terrifying. Then in early December it came back. A friend at Columbia's astronomy department called me, his voice shaking. It wasn't a fuzzy comet on his screen. It was a single, hard point of light. And it was in the wrong place. The data flooded in. Its trajectory, it hadn't slingshot away from the sun. It had braked. It had pivoted. All the models shattered. The object that emerged from behind the sun was not on a path to leave our solar system. It was on a direct intercept course for Earth. That's when we realized the terrible truth. The comet was a disguise. A perfect billion-year-old camouflage of ice and rock gathered from the Oort cloud. It had used the sun's blinding light as a shield, a workshop, to shed its natural skin and reveal its true form. What we saw on our screens wasn't a rock. It was a ship, a weapon, massive, impossibly black, and utterly silent. It had used our own laws of physics to deceive us, to ride the celestial pathways right to our front door. There was no time to prepare. The world's governments fell into chaos. The announcement was a confused, terrified mess. By the time they admitted the truth, it was already in orbit above us. A dark scar in our sky. That was December 24th, Christmas Eve. The ship, the real Atlas, blotted out the stars above the city. It didn't broadcast a message. It didn't offer a warning. It just released its young. Thousands of smaller, needle-like probes detached and descended, blanketing the globe. We saw one hang in the sky over the harbor, a dark dagger pointed at the heart of our city. For a few agonizing hours, the world held its breath, praying for a miracle. Maybe we had misunderstood. On December 25th, they answered our prayers. It wasn't a bomb. It was like a switch being flipped. A silent, purple wave of energy pulsed from the probe over the harbor. I was watching from my roof. I watched the torch of the Statue of Liberty simply go out. Then she, and the island she stood on, turned to gray dust. The wave expanded. It hit lower Manhattan. The Freedom Tower, the Empire State Building, icons of our skyline, they just crumbled into nothing. The city fell. And it was the same in London, Tokyo, Cairo, everywhere. From the wreckage of the probes came the creatures. I have only seen one up close. It was wrong. A towering thing of chitinous limbs and angles that did not belong in our world, moving with a predatory grace. They are not colonizers. They are harvesters. That was 2.5 months ago. Christmas Day was the last day of the human era. Now we hide in the subways, in the basements, in the bones of our city. The air is thick with the dust of pulverized concrete, steel, and glass. But we are here, the survivors. We are learning. They are not invincible. They have patterns. They have technology. And all technology can be broken. I am recording this so that you know we were not struck down by a random act of nature. We were deceived, outmaneuvered, and broken by an intelligence so vast and so patient, it used a comet's journey as its Trojan horse. Do not give up hope. Find each other. Listen for our signals. Watch their movements. The main ship, Atlas itself, has landed on the surface. It is their heart. We believe it is their weakness. This is Alex, broadcasting from the ruins of Manhattan. We are still here, and we will fight back.